Alright guys, sorry to close that off really fast. Last time I was making a video on our boy Ragnar, and we were down the stairway in a castle where the little girl, or the ghost, upstairs had told us that there was a secret area. So, apparently we were already going to know about this, but I wasn't sure. But I don't know what it would have went to. So, anyways, we're made of a decision. The door had runes on it, so we'll see. It's a protection spell, so it's probably a beast inside. I do have 5 mana cut back. I mean mana left. So open the door. Maybe there's a treasure room behind you. You joke. Fortunes and glory, my friend Ragnar says with a broad smile. Broad smile. The large iron door shudders and screeches as Ragnar slowly pries it open. Once open, your friend's face drops and you soon realize why. A powerful stench whiffs up from the dark stairs below. 'Tis deep pleasure and plugs down the stairs. What does this mean? No. Alright. The two of you oh my god, I thought this game was about to end on me. I was about to be like, what? The two of you descend for some time before you enter into a large room, eerily illuminated by green flaming torches fastened to each of the walls. Near the far wall is a dais leading up to an altar, with skulls inlaid into the frame. Some human, others of animals, or perhaps monsters. The lower altar is blood-stained and covered with candles and golden candle holders arranged around a book. The book is bound in what might very well be mummified human skin, with hand and finger bones embedded into the cover, as though the book were in the grass of the dead. The title is infernal, but you don't recognize the words. Beyond the book is a raised part of the altar, white stone seemingly scourged clean of bloodstain. This surface has more candles, a golden cup, and a large golden bowl filled with some dark liquid, maybe blood. Just for the altar is a narrow but deep pit, shining the lantern in. You make out something gleaming white, a skeletal arm and hand. Ragnar adds his light to yours, and you see a heap of bodies, the various stages of decay. The heap is crawling with rats and other sacrifices, the source of the stench. You mutter. I would bet my last copper that the rest of the caravans are among them. Ragnar makes a face of disgust. I say we sweeply palfire what we can from this unholy place and leave. As he says this, the bowl on the upper altar begins to tremble as rippled. Something is coming, you whisper. It is already here, says Ragnar. Black smoke bellows up from the bowl and swiftly takes the shadow form of a horned fiend. His glowing, pitless eyes rove about the chamber, taking in everything. Demon, you shout. Bet. Despite the terrified look on his face, Ragnar has already unslung his backpack as though preparing to scoop valuables from the altar. He might have the right idea. After all, you came here for loot, and it might take a moment for this shadow beast to fully take form. That strange book might be valuable. Finally, maybe you can disrupt his fiend's arrival by knocking over the bowl. But do you dare? After all, this monster hasn't acknowledged you yet, and messing around with his bowl is likely a danger. What do you do? Grab the book and run. Oh, life decree. Loot and run, you whispered as you open your backpack and toss the book into your bag. Reinhardt gets to work blowing out candles and throwing the golden candles into his backpack. You follow his example. You have nearly cleared off the lower table of the altar when you hear, "Your souls are mine." The voice is a hiss, and its words are in the infernal language. No. Oh, wait, no, that's him. Now we run, you shout, as you turn, slinging on your backpack. A terrible cold grasps your shoulder, making you scream. Breaking free of the cold, you bolt up the stairs, leaping 3 steps at a time. There is a whizzing snarl not far behind you. You make it through the... Bro, we are going to run out into that courtyard. The door is heavy, and the hinges are tight. Nevertheless, you expect that if you hurl your weight against it, you can knock it shut. But this will take time, and the demon is nearly upon you. No time, just run. Oh, I just got smacked again. You decide there's no time for anything but running. Freedom comes. A rasping shout followed by laughter. You turn on the speed for the next stairway, and I nearly call out to Ragnar at the top when you feel a sudden, overpowering chill. Let me in, hisses a voice in your head. You resist, and it is like your soul is being ripped apart. Despite your pain, you keep going, following Ragnar out of the secret door, out of the library, and down several passages, rounding a corner. You are suddenly in a large and lavorious fashioned room, filled with the soft light of dozens of candles. In the middle are three of the evil priests holding hands and surrounding what appears to be a pile of corpses. The men are chanting in the infernal language. One of the corpses begins to twitch. Just to the side of the priest stands the massive ogre, his pale white body and large, cold, dark eyes fixed on Ragnar. Meanwhile, the corpse that had been twitching sprung up to its feet with alarming speed. You think you recognize him as one of the priests you killed earlier. The undead creature levels its hunger gaze upon you. Charm. He's under. We're running away. Nope, I'm about to die. Moral decrease. There are too many, you think, as you turn and run. I will crush your soul. I will crush your soul. You look back to see the red-eye undead priest sprinting up behind you at an unnatural speed. Unnatural speed. Before you can turn to face him, he pounces, knocking you on your face. You feel great pain as the teeth rip to the back of your neck. The thing says something, but you cannot make out what it is before his mouth is full of your flesh. I am free, and now I can feast, it says, after it takes a gulp. Your arms are pinned below you. You are helpless. You do not know where Ragnar is, but dimly you can hear the clings and shouts of battle. Back in the room you fled from. No doubt he cannot help you. And then suddenly the weight lifts off of you. The undead priest skips away down the hallway. I have a better use for you, fool, it shouts. You get up and run back to the candlelit room to find Ragnar holding his bloody side. Merely a scratch, he mutters with a smile. I slew the ogre and the others fled cowards, he says. You feel a pang of shame. You haven't mentioned to leave him. You expected him to run too. Oh, that's cool. Did not know that. Alright. As you and Ragnar catches... Oh, shit. Did I just... Alright, bet. Alright, as you and Ragnar catches your breath from somewhere in the castle, echoes the distant, raspy cracks of that dark spirit with the hellish eyes. Chill goes at your spine. You do not want to tangle with that thing again. Neither your spells nor blades can harm it. Perhaps it could be wise to run from this cursed place on the other hand. Maybe you could afford to take a few seconds to search the bodies of your recently fallen. Boost survival. Flee the castle. Are you serious? Well, sorry for the unexpected area. Let us flee. Certainly Kaba has escaped to the forest by now, you say. Just then you hear a scream. Not... Oh. Before you can react, you see Kaba, her eyes bloodshot, right into the... Gods, we must flee. A monster comes. The three of you run. The ears, you complain as you run through... The ears, you complain as you run through the castle entrance chamber. You are referring to the goblins' courts from which you could harvest trophies. No number of rubby ears are worth your soul. Ragnar is... Yes. Despite your present anxiety, this strikes you as somewhat funny, and you plan to remind him of his words later. If you survive for now, you do as your friend advises and keeps running. The three of you retreat to the forest. You are all exhausted, and so once safely away from the cursed ruins and reasonably certain no evil follows, you make camp, because you are still in goblin country. Against the campfire instead, you will have to just make do with the sleeping roll in your backpack. It is a rather cold night, and you notice Kaba carries nothing but the ripped up clothes on her back. What do you do? You cod. Naughty, naughty. Look times two. They're like, look, bet. Bet. Even got more life. Bet. But my moral went down. No, my mana. No, my mana increased. You can. I'm tempted to give you a moral point for your bold choice, but unfortunately this scene does not play out that way. You are declared to share your blanket with you. She cocks her head, gives you a suspicious look, and politely declines. Ragnarok offers his own blanket. She smiles at him, takes the blanket with it, and goes off to find a tree to curl up around. It would have been warmer still with me. You think to yourself, at last, not everyone can be as practical as you are. Since Ragnar is cold anyways, he decides to take the first watch. You're awoken well before dawn and you loan him your blanket as you sit up to keep an eye out for a danger. As you settled into your watch, your eyes wander to the sleeping merchant's daughter. A sliver of moonlight has escaped through the branches above and illuminated her delicate nose. You decide that is a pretty little nose. For whatever reason, this leads you to wonder if even your pinky would fit into one of her tiny nostrils. You chuckle to yourself as you imagine the expression on her face, awaken with your finger in her nose, and then you feel like plumb of guilt for imagining this. The young maiden has just lost her father. I should not make sport of her. Even in my mind, you think. It's obvious that you need something to occupy your thoughts in order to stay awake. I cannot. That's terrible. He lets me know. Later. You wait until Ragnar begins snoring before you pull your spell book out of your backpack. Ragnar hates it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from. Oh, my spell book. I thought he was talking about that evil, crusty little thing. I was like, how crazy are you? I hate it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder. You light a single sorry, I'm trying to burp. A single candle, and excuse me, candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through provides a sort of familiar comfort. A comfort you are grateful for in the dark. Checkpoint. Oh, look, I got a checkpoint. After some time, you can never keep track of time when immersed in magical lore. You exclaim, yes. Danger, Ragnar. So over his eyes slit. He is only half awake. I understand invisibility. I can turn invisible. At least this spell has enlured me for so long. At least I think I understand. You say as you point down at the arcane symbol in your book. Go to sleep, Ragnar's. And then his head falls back to the ground. This is goblin country and I am on watch. I dare not sleep, you say, but Ragnar does not hear you. He is snoring again. It turns out that you are not so vigilant after all. At some point, as you gaze at the candle flame, you fall asleep. That's crazy. Look, it's always the wizards, man. Bro, I don't mind the wizard, but, like, let's get to it. Awaken, someone is near, Ragnar whispers as he shakes you. You sit up groggily. It is early morning at first. All you hear are singing birds, then sure enough, voices. Not goblins, not in the daytime, you think. They approached upon the trail, huddling in a blanket. To the trail, then. But keep quiet, says Ragnar. Why not stay still and let them pass? Because we are adventurers, you whisper fiercely as you gather your backpack. I wouldn't. I would just stay. Like, let y'all pass. Refusing to be left by yourself follows as you creep up to the edge of the trail. Thank the gods she is not or otherwise making a racket. You have just taken up your position in the bush when you see the first of a column of priests of Nora. Several of them are speaking casually, loudly even, as though they are not the goblins own this. Thought they and not the goblins own this part of the woods. As they pass by, you see in the middle of the stretcher made of thick wooden branches and rough smoke. It carries by 8 priests upon the stretcher and a pure white horse, whose legs are bound with rope. Not a horse, but a unicorn. You have not seen one before, but the long horn is a dead giveaway. Several meters behind the main party are a tall man and a woman. You know the young woman, or to be precise, you know of her. She is the beautiful lady Egren, daughter of the Lord. Is it Eugene? Egren? I don't know. Her father holds Eugene has a U in it. distance from town, and her family comes to Ring City for annual tournaments. More than once you have gazed wistfully at her from the cheap seats far in the corner of the jostling arena. Allow me to take a moment to apologize to those readers who in real life prefer to gaze wistfully at handsome men, since you are playing the part of a heterosexual male wizard and are now gazing most at wistfully at this woman. You are disappointed and somewhat horrified, though, not because she's a woman, but because she is, in fact, a Noralian police. And the man with her, you wonder after a moment you recognize him as her father, Lord Egranum. I don't know. To think a man of such an illusionist line would get messed up with this evil line. Anyways, back to Lady Eargrain. Her jet black hair is pulled back to reveal a most sharply long neck. Her flawless skin glows in the dawnlight. It is as though the sun itself, despite to touch her, has found a path through the forest canopy. The golden and holy symbol of Narnia hangs over her bosom, contrasts nicely with her large brown eyes. We cannot go back there, not yet, Lord Ingene is saying. Why would we go back ever? The ruin offers no decent bath. There is some unfinished business, however, it can wait, Lord Igrim says, as he absently pats the pocket of his immense fur-lining coat. The old one will move on from Castle and Vernus to seek the living. Let us hope he does not exact revenge upon us. Okay. After the column has passed out of earshot, Reinar sighs. A unicorn, was it not? Where did they find such a creature? And what do they plan to do with it, you ask? I wager they do not plan to simply feed her apples and comb her mane, Reinar replies. Her. It is a lady unicorn, you ask? Oh, I did not look in that decisive region. Ragnar blushes. Ooh, you blussin'. Such caravans and pathetic simpletons. Ceased as she glares about the column of priests disappearing around a bend. I propose we tie each of them down and cut off one finger at a time. We will bind their wounds to ensure they will not lose too much blood and fail unconscious. I will then take their eyelids and oh, I did not think that all that would be necessary, you interrupt. There are perhaps 1 dozen of them. I do not think we will have time for that work. Your Ragnar exchanges perplexed looks, and then Ragnar whispers in your ear, young maidens love unicorns. Kalaba regards the two of you with hard eyes. We should attack them now and make them pay for their transgressions. There are too many Ragnar for tests. Even with the element of surprise. I thought you said you were adventurers. Adventurers not idiots. Adventurers, not idiots, Ragnar replies. His pride clearly hurt. There are only 3 of us, and they are slowed by their burden. We could cut through the woods and get ahead of them. We shall ambush them as they come by. Or we could follow them from a distance and learn more about our quarry, perhaps straight at a more opportune time, Ragnar says, and perhaps they will notice following them, or perhaps they are journeying to some vow fortification that we cannot hope to storm. I say we ambush them now while they're in the open, I said. Boost survival stats. Like, what is that? Like, what am I, like, what I have right now? Well, they're going to have to go to a river or stream. But if we follow them, maybe we can tag the location and come back at a later time. I really don't know why we just don't go back and cash in our prizes, but follow them. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Why is our once demure and frightened merchant daughter suddenly wishing to play the role of a bloodthirsty battle tactician, you wonder? Dear Kaiba, we will meet our justice to these villains for the death of your father, among other countless evil deeds in due time. You are not trained in the art of war as Ragnar and I are. Even if we set a successful ambush, their numbers are simply too great for 2 men. There are 3 of us, Glenivre says, fierce her palm. A blade for me. Certainly adventurers have more weapons than they need. Ragnar shrugs, unbuckling a dagger belt, and hands it to her. Even if they scurry off to a fortification of some kind, we will take them. I have the trust of the captain of the guard of Ring City. He will not suffer evil so close, says Ragnar. The 3 of you set off after the priest while keeping a good distance away. A good distance away, out of sight. Most of the time, luckily, their party is so nosy that tracking them is trivial. After a few hours, your quarry leaves the trail and hikes over a field. You now have to follow a bit closer in order to not lose them. Soon, they stop on a hill with a great slab of granite at the top. They set the unicorn down on this slab and surround it. They begin to chant. The chant is an infernal, but you can not only make out a few words from here. They are chanting a prayer, you think, something about forgiveness. But I do not think these bodies well for the unicorn, says Ragnar. They mean to sacrifice him, Clavis says. The unicorn is a him. When they carried him by our hiding spot. Irrelevant, you say in expression. Our enemies stand in the open and on high ground. We cannot approach unnoticed. Allow me to lure them to you, to the forest edge. I shall play the part of the frightened lost girl. They will be overjoyed to recapture what they lost. You can then attack them, your hiding place. They may harm you. So. Oh, disembowel them, she says, brandishing the dagger in her. I understand. You're angry for that, what they did to your father, but do not die a fool, says Ragnar. A fool am I? Her face is such a that you, Ragnar, both take a step back. Ragnar shudders. Perhaps stealth should serve us better, you interject. I might turn invisible, creep into their mess, and cut the unicorn free. My friend, surely your powers are best spent sowing guts of deadly fire, not sneaking about like a rat. Fire and steel, simple and effective, says Ragnar. What do you do? Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. I'm not sure how long the video was, but I'm going to stop it.